Whether or not you have been in woodworking carpentry for a very long time or you are just starting to get into it, I guarantee you will answer yes to one of two of these questions. One, have you seen this tool before? And two, do you think about buying it? Or I don't know, maybe you answer yes to both of them. Whatever. Either or, I guarantee that you've seen this router table. This, my friends, is the Bosch RA1181 router table. It's a small, compact benchtop router style table. And I guarantee if you ever typed in router table or router table for sale, this thing has popped up on your search. The question is it any good? Will it hold up to the using and abusing, the slicing and the dicing? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna look at in today's video. Is this thing worth buying? Is it a purchase that you should make, or is this something that you should just stay away from? What's up, everybody? My name is Clint. Welcome to the Tool Review Zone channel. Now, I know you work hard for the money. So when you go out and buy a tool, you see something like this, you say to yourself, should I spend my money on it? It's small. Is it weak? Is it feeble? Will this router table hold up to the demands that I need it to hold up to? Will it slice and dice? That was one of the main questions that I had for this router table, but I was thinking about it all wrong. You know, this whole time I thought the router table was really doing the work, but that's not really the case. It's the router. So let me show you what I bought to go along with this router table. All right, so there are a lot of different routers you can use on this router table, but I decided to go with the 16017 EVS. That's right, you got to buy a router to go with this table if you don't have one, or if you do have one, you got to make sure that it will fit. Why did I go with this router, you ask? Well, it's a freaking beast. It's 2¼ horsepower. It takes 1/2-inch collets or 1/4-inch collets, so depending on what size bits you want to use or have, you can use both. Not to mention it comes with this cool little tool right here. That way you just put it right here. You can actually adjust your router depth height up and down simply by turning this. Now, there is one more thing I want to let you know about that router, is that you can buy the version or the kit that comes with the plunge base. Me personally, I didn't want that because this router is not coming off this table. So personally, I wouldn't spend the extra money on that. Now, of course, this is going to be more of an in-depth review here, so let's talk about the table first. We'll talk about the setups, and we're going to slice and dice and use and abuse here in a bit. Now, let's talk about setup and putting this thing together. We're not. There's a ton of videos out on the internet to show you how to put this thing together. I will say that it's not hard, but the instructions aren't great either. Just look for a video on YouTube. You'll find something. There's a million of them out there, so nah. Now, after the 2 hours it took me to put this thing together, I will tell you that everything's set up perfectly freaking flush, perfectly even, perfectly level. I was actually sort of surprised with how well I was able to fine-tune this machine, level everything out and get it exactly where I wanted it to be. There's all kind of adjustment screws on here that are easy to use. So you can see up on top, you got your guides that you can adjust upwards or downwards. Depending on the size of your stock, you just loosen these up, drop this down, bring it up, whatever you need to do, and then just tighten it down, and this thing won't lift up on you. You can also add one of them in your track over here, so that way you have one pushing down and one pushing this way, so it just doesn't move. Let's take a look at the back real quick. Very, very easy to set up. Here's your guide right here, your fence. You can slide this back, bring it forward, and even though you see this moving, don't worry about it. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But once you get this to where you want it to be, you just clamp those down, tighten it. That's not going anywhere. These 4 knobs here, all those do are hold the fences, which are made of MDF. So if you bust one of these, you just make a new one. I personally don't know how you would do that, but that said, you never know. This does come with like a plastic protective layer up on the front. But again, if you bust one, break one, you just change it out and put a new one in. But let me show you the super coolness of this machine. All right, check this out. I thought this was pretty awesome. Now, I done got my shop vac hooked up directly to the router table, which, by the way, this does a pretty good job of collecting the dust. Up on top here, you have a shield, which the lower you bring this down to your workpiece, the less dust you're gonna have flying all over the place because it acts like a vacuum, you know, because it's a vacuum. But what's really super cool about this, and very well thought out, if you ask moi, is that you have, well, check it out, 2 outlets on the back side of that switch. One your router plugs into, and the other your vacuum plugs into. And then on the left over here, you can see the cord running down. That is what you plug into your outlet. So all I have to do is run one cord to this, or plug it directly into the wall, and you're able to run both your vacuum and your router table off of one plug. And it's freaking awesome. Just make sure your vacuum switched to on. Make sure your router switched to on. Set your speed. And when I flip this switch right here, this router table and the vacuum should turn on at the exact same time. That's what's so cool about this. Again, I'm gonna flip this on, the vacuum and this turn on together. This is like you're on and off switch, yeah? Turn it off and they both shut off. That's real nice. All right, so let me adjust my fences right here. And yeah, you can slide these left, right, both of them up, down. I'm gonna go get some wood. I know I got wood. You know, with today's wood prices, I believe this piece of oakage only ran me $18,000. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this router bit out, but I'm gonna unplug this table first, and then we're gonna go pick a router bit that's gonna work for this piece of oakage. All right, so I unplugged this machine, and what you gotta do is you gotta sort of get down in here. You get one wrench that comes with this. Actually, you get two, depending on what size you're going with, and we're gonna have to take this thing out. All right, the first one we're using today, it's Freud bit. I like Freud's. This is the flute straight bit here, and this is good for if you're trying to do some joinery. Bosch also makes bits. I'd imagine they're pretty good. So you want to bring this up about 1/8 of an inch. We'll tighten this down a little bit and then lock her into place. So now that we got our collet tightened, we got 3 different clips here, 3 different guards. We don't want this one, we don't want this one. We want something smaller so our piece of wood does not go down into the table. And you just clip that off like so, nice and flush, and it's ready to go. Get it? Ready to go because it's red. Now, just to let you know, there are a couple different ways to adjust the bit depth. So underneath here on the router, you can simply just push the button and then you can lower it fast, slow. You have a couple different grooves. So I'll push that button in, I can bring it all the way down, bring it all the way up. And then what I can do is I can fine adjust it. So once I find sort of where I want to be, I can simply just take this and adjust it if I wanted to. Where you at? Right there. Adjust it like this, and that'll bring it up and down, and that'll bring it up and down. Or I can use my fancy tool and do it this way. Me personally, I find it easier just going underneath the table. You got to do it anyway to unlock it, but you can do that if you want. So right here I got some particle boardage, and I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off. So we're not going to be all perfect today. We're just going to show you what this thing can do. And I'm going to lock this now into place simply by going up underneath there and then just flipping that switch. FYI, where am I at? This right here is a locking switch. Open, open, close. Again, I got it set up about 1/8 of an inch here. Now what I need to do is adjust my fence to where I need it to be. So over here, you have a couple numbers. Once you determine where you want this router to go, so if you want the edge or if you want the front, the middle, wherever, you can adjust it to match. All right, so say I wanted to do, I don't know, some cabinetry. If I got one here and a one here, this is where I want this. So I'm gonna bring this right here. Shut up, bird. Line the ones up. And then tighten them down in the back. I'm gonna lower my fence right here. And I can do the other one if I want. I'm gonna set my shield down for the dust collection. So bring that down like so. Just above your piece of wood. Tighten that down. All right, we got it all plugged in and ready to go. So here we go. Set the glasses on. Excellent. Let's blow this off a little bit. Look at it. Look at it. This right here is an extremely smooth cutting machine. And really, the router's doing all the work. It's just the router table is keeping everything in place. But look at it. It's like extreme precision right there. All right, let's do a roundover. So we done put in a roundover bit. And I done got some oakage. This oakage cost me $18,000. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Hit that like button. Yeah. But here's what's cool about this dude and dudettes. I don't even need to use my fence if I don't want to. Check this out. Check that out. That is freaking awesome. You know, the thing that's so cool about this is that there's really no effort at all when it comes to running these through the router. You're not trying to find an area to clamp it to the table, hang it over the edge. If you got smaller pieces, it doesn't matter because, well, it's a table. I mean, it's just fantastico. Oh, and FYI, if you want a safety mechanism so your chillins can't come and pull this thing and turn it on, you just pull that yellow key out and it won't turn on. Listen, this router table and that router is freaking fantastic. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first started looking at these things, I seen them online all the time. They got two different versions. They got one that's like a cabinet and then this one here. And I thought, you know, they were smaller, they're probably not that powerful, and well, they're probably junk. I was wrong. Oh, I was wrong. Oh. It is a fantastic tool. Would I recommend this thing? Absolutely. Everything on here is balanced perfectly. The table's like a cast aluminum. It is just, it's
100% grade A, real nice like.
I was worried about these legs here because they're plastic, but I don't see any issues with them. What's nice about them is you can put clamps down on these things here, or you can screw them down or bolt them down into a table if you wanted this thing to be absolutely secure. I love that you can turn on the vacuum and the router with a flip of a switch at the exact same time and only use one cord doing it. And another thing that is extremely awesome, just like this new TRZ merch, I'll leave a link in the description below, is you can use any router bit. You can go straight bits, you can do roundovers, you can do dovetails, anything you need to do or use, you can use on this table. I've used routers my entire life, and I've been mostly using the compact cordless routers that have been coming out, but I'll tell you what, this is my new go-to. This thing here is just, I could not be happier. If you were looking at these things online and if you're trying to go back and forth whether or not you think they're good or not, I'm telling you, it's good. Look at this Bosch router table and that Bosch router that I was talking about, because working together, they're just awesome. I could not be happier. I will leave a link in the description below for you to check this thing out, both of them. And I'll tell you what, if you have one, if you use one, let me know what you think. I love hearing your feedback. If you're planning on getting one because of this video, let me know. I love hearing the feedback. Now, you know I always appreciate you stopping by, but if this is helping you in any sort of way, please don't forget to smash that like button. Appreciate it. Also, I got another video right here for you to check out. I'm sure you'll like that one as well. And with that, we'll be back with more videos soon.